Hi everyone, it's Leah here. I'm sorry I haven't been on for a little while. There's been an awful lot going on, trying to get everything ready to properly launch website, and I've been doing a little bit of market research, and I will post about that here today because I'd love any of you that are happy to do so to fill in a questionnaire for me. I'm sorry for my shaky hands, I'm trying to study it. It's on my phone today. And I wanted to come on to talk a little bit about something that's ended up being really important this week in terms of people that I've been speaking to, clients, and actually just people in life. And sometimes you get that, don't you, that a topic kind of keeps popping up, it keeps kind of repeating itself over a week period, and it ends up feeling like it's something important to talk about. So I've taken the hint, and here I am talking about it. So it all started with a client at the tail end of last week, and this particular client, I'm going to try and change hands. I can see it's shaking all over the place. This particular client, when they came to see me for their session, had said, things had been really good since the last session, except in the last few days. And when I talked to them about that, it turns out that what happened is this person had gone to an event that had lots of old friends, sort of peers, if you like, and it had really affected their well-being, because basically they began to compare themselves, and outwardly at least these friends, or this is my understanding from what this person told me, I don't know if this was judged correctly and fairly, but outwardly these people were more successful, so they had more sort of financial and professional success than my client perceived themselves to have. And that had knocked them back. It made them feel jealous, made them feel inadequate, made them feel like they were failing. And that had a knock-on effect to their well-being, basically because of the thought processes and the feelings that triggered. And we all understand, we understand that actually we shouldn't be comparing ourselves with other people, that it's not a productive thing to do. And this person I'm talking about, this client, absolutely understood that. And, when we discuss the fact that when we tend to compare, we don't take into account the sort of negative aspects of the person that we're comparing ourselves with. And we often don't take into account our positive aspects. So in this particular situation, my client was aware that they were comparing just on this one parameter of financial and professional success, when actually they'd made decisions to, and active and conscious decisions to do things in life that made them more happy, more content, to spend more time with the people they cared about, and actually actively deciding not to pursue certain aspects that might have brought them this financial and professional success that they were so jealous of in those other people. And they recognised that. And, we also all probably recognise that, although we're seeing this success on the outside, it's not the full story. We all know this kind of stuff, but just knowing it doesn't necessarily change anything, in the sense that it doesn't stop us feeling those feelings necessarily. You can logically understand that you've no need to feel jealous, or no need to feel insecure, no need to feel sad, angry, whatever it is. But if those feelings have arisen, they've arisen, but, they're there. And, so conventional wisdom would talk about, okay, well, let's look at these feelings. Let's work out where they've come from. Let's see how we can resolve these feelings so that you don't feel like that next time, so that you can go into a situation and feel differently. And the problem with that way of thinking can be, and I'm not saying it's a bad way of thinking, it's actually a very logical and very sensible thing to do in some circumstances. But what's problematic about it is that sometimes we don't know why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. I mean, in this particular example I gave, yes, this person did, but that's not always the case. We don't always know why that feeling is there. Sometimes it just suddenly happens, and that can often be, a particular problem when we have ADHD. Actually, we're probably more likely to compare ourselves as well. But there's a thing in ADHD, a symptom, if you like, called emotional lability, which means that, we will just suddenly... our emotions will change, and there will be a trigger, but we might not be aware of what that trigger is. And so we can find ourselves suddenly overwhelmed with some kind of emotion. This might not be negative emotion, this might be positive emotion. We find ourselves overwhelmed with this emotion and we don't know why. So if we spend our time trying to work out where it came from, trying to look at ways of kind of making ourselves not feel that feeling next time, then really what we're doing is we're making that feeling a bad thing, something to avoid, which is not necessarily true. We're making a judgment on ourselves. We're basically saying that we're wrong for feeling that feeling. And so from that point of view, it can be really unhelpful. So going back to this particular client that I was talking about, one of the things that we talked about was actually accepting the human condition, accepting the fact that no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how much you know about life, the world, how successful you are, you will always have those kinds of feelings popping up at times, from time to time. You may be able to, find ways of making them resolve quicker, ways of bringing more happiness and contentment in your life, but you cannot avoid those feelings popping up. And the example I gave to this client was, let's say you're a millionaire and you've got your fantastic New York penthouse. Does that mean that you never feel jealous anymore? You never feel bad about yourself? You never feel inadequate? You never feel sad or low? Absolutely not. You don't. But if you're trying to correct it, then what you're going to start doing is thinking, well, that person over there has got a villa in the Caribbean, so you're going to start to move towards that. And that might resolve those feelings for a while, but they will come back because you'll acclimatise to where you are. And then, so, where does it stop? Do we need now a townhouse in Paris? Do we need a private jet? So no matter who you are, these feelings are going to come up. And actually, what can be much more helpful is just to accept that you're having those feelings, just accepting that those feelings are normal and being okay with them. So I don't know if this is helpful, but certainly I know for me that if I can just accept a feeling that comes up, if I'm feeling jealous, if I'm feeling inadequate, if I'm feeling low, even though I know what part of the brain's causing that to happen, and I probably recognise some of the events that lead up to it, but I can't stop it necessarily. And actually allowing it to kind of almost pass through you allows it to drop away quicker. So not necessarily easy to do, but something to recognise and to move towards. So I hope that's been helpful. If it hasn't, or if it doesn't make sense and you want to ask more, then please do drop a comment in the comments section. And if you've got examples of this in your own life, then I'd love to hear about that. So look forward to speaking to you again soon. Oh, and hi Tiff. Take care. Bye.